Welcome back to No Dick Pics Podcast. I'm Max,
I'm Christina.
and welcome to episode number 8. We skipped last week. We did best clips. There was a reason we skipped, but we'll get into that later. So, how are you this week?
I'm doing really well. You want to talk about why we skipped?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Yeah, I got divorced.
All right.
Yeah, it's official.
So you're officially
I'm
divorced.
officially divorced.
How's it feel?
It feels like a weight has been lifted off me. So, yeah, it's sad. Like, it's a sad ending to something, but, like, I just feel relieved that it's done. That, like, all the court stuff, all the lawyer stuff, all that stuff is behind me now. I'm on the other side, and I've been, like, dying to get to the other side of this. So,
Welcome to the other side.
yeah.
We've been waiting.
I know.
A lot of people who are listening to this have been on the other side.
Yeah.
It's a lot. Like, you go through, even though you want it to end, it's still an emotional time because it's like, wow, it's just something. It's a big part of your life. I didn't realize it, and that's when my therapist would say, like, no, it's a big part of your life that's over, and it's kind of sad, but you're sad and happy, and you're just like, what's gonna happen now? But you're part of, like, probably like the 70% club now.
Yeah. I don't know if it's 70%.
It's gotta be close.
That sounds so high.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know. I feel good. I feel like I don't want to. I feel weird celebrating it because that feels insensitive. So, hang on, let's put this in the middle. It feels weird to celebrate. Like, I went out with some friends and had drinks and stuff, but like to have a party, and I know a lot of people do, it just felt insensitive in my situation to have like a party. So, I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but I
think if both parties agree to getting a divorce, I think it's easier. So then the other person sees that they're having a party, he or she thinks it's funny. But if it's one person wanted a divorce and the other person didn't, and that person sees you having a party, then that could get ugly.
Yeah. I'm not trying to like pour salt in an open wound. So I had some drinks to celebrate. It was, had a good time. I don't even want to say celebrate, but it was kind of just like, I'm finished with this chapter. I'm finished with all the court. I'm finished with all this stuff. Like, thank God. So it's not a thank God it's over. It's a thank God that process is over. More of that.
Sounds good. Well, congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. What's new with you?
I got a dog.
Yeah. We got a new mascot.
And she's just sleeping, so.
Yeah. I was going to say you could grab her, but don't. She's so peaceful. So, she has no name, correct?
Right. That's up to the kids.
Yeah.
Which will take 6 months to a year to figure out.
So she's just dog?
Yeah. I guess so. Her tag says Illinois 817. I don't know if that's like her parole number. Or...
It's like Stitch. Stitch has a number. Like prisoner, whatever, 6182 or something. Yeah. So.
All right.
You might just keep it.
And I'm looking forward to our conversation with Bree, an old friend of yours.
Yeah.
I hear
Breezy.
She's got some stories.
She does. Bree is one of the, like, most joyful people I've ever been around. She's always fun. She's always down for a good time. You're never, like, bored with Bree. It's always, like, you're always having a good time.
Fan, so that's always a plus.
Yeah, she lives in the suburbs of Detroit, so now you have a new friend. We got to go visit her and her husband. And she talks about that too, but that's a cute story too, how they met and the process that they went through to get to where they're at today. So it's a good conversation. So.
I'm excited.
Yeah. Oh, I put Summer Max on here. Is that you buzzing?
Yeah.
That's so rude. We're podcasting. We're recording. Are you ready to join us, or are you just too busy?
Hey.
All right. So I have Summer Max on here. So what is the difference between school year max and summer max?
Well, I've talked in the past that I feel like I've only dated during the summers because I have less responsibility. So during the regular year, I have 50% custody of the kids. I have them Sunday night to Wednesday mornings. So my Mondays and Tuesdays are just slammed with dance, taekwondo, doctor's appointments. So I never get a break. And then Wednesday night and Thursday night, I usually have, I decompress and stuff. And then the weekends, and then I have them every other weekend. So when summer hits, I work in a non field that you have the summers off, like teaching. And so my ex-wife is a teacher, so she takes the kids during the summer during the weekday, and then we go every other weekend. And I I, I see the kids during the weekday. We'll go to dinner or something. So I have a lot more time to myself, so I'm able to like work out, go to the gym, just get stuff done. Last summer I got kind of lazy and I just would come home, but so that's what summer max is. Summer max is I have more time for myself, which is nice. But it's and it's I get to sleep in a little bit. I get to so going to work, just getting up, getting ready, and going to work instead of getting up, making lunches, getting the kids up, getting them all in the car, taking them to school, and coming back home for 10 minutes, and then going to work. It's just a different vibe, and especially with the summer, the sun's out. So that's why I started calling myself Summer Max because like again, a Seinfeld reference. It's the summer of George. It's the summer of Max. So yeah.
It's gonna be the summer of Christina. I'm not married.
Yeah.
So.
I was gonna say you're Free Willy, but that probably come off way.
So how is it different this year? Because you're typically going into the summer single, but you're in a relationship. So how is that different this year?
I don't know. I'm gonna find out.
You're gonna find out?
Yeah. I mean, I assume it's going to be kind of the same. There's going to be more time to do stuff and more. I don't know. I mean, work is so up and down. It's an easy job, but I deal with a lot of older people, and they're not very technology savvy, and everyone expects that I have answers to everything.
You don't?
And I don't.
Oh.
So.
That's disappointing.
But some things are in place where it's nice. If I have a full staff, I don't have as much work. But we'll see. I mean, I'm looking forward to this summer. It should be fun. Have more time. Now, obviously, I'm not going to travel because obviously getting the dog, so I'm going to be at home more. But it'll be fun. It's a break. It's a nice break to have. Like I said, I miss my kids, and we'll be doing a lot of things together. But just that fact that I get to wake up with about an hour of peace to myself before I go to work makes such a difference than, driving them to school.
Yeah, I get it. Like, my kids grew up and it was like I had nonstop, like, drop this person off here, pick this person up here, and then all of a sudden I'm done.
Yeah.
So.
Sometimes it wears on you. But like I said, I enjoy it. And then, I mean, like I said, and the weekends during the summer are a lot easier because there's not as many activities, so we're allowed to do kind of things that we want to do. Like my son is going for his half black belt tomorrow, which we're very excited. And then he's been doing a running club at school, so he kind of likes that. And we go for a little walk. So last week we did a record. We did 3.28 miles.
Wow.
Yeah. So and then my daughter will be her last dance competition and stuff is like around June. So then we'll have the summer to do stuff, give her a break, give her some rest. So it should be fun. They're going on a cruise with their mom in, I think, August. So they're looking forward to that. But
good times.
Yeah. It's the summer.
Just wait for Summer Christina. She's exactly the same as, like, Winter Christina.
Well, no, because she was married, so.
Yeah. I just have a better tan in the summer. Okay. So for today, I came across this thing on Instagram where it was Gen Z dating lingo, 9 relationship slang terms that Gen Z uses that millennials, Max is not a millennial, but millennials, you're Gen X. So millennials and older, like Max, might not get. This is stuff that we're too old to understand. I've heard some of it, not all of it. So the first one is curving. When someone responds to a text in a way that keeps someone at arm's length, instead of just ghosting, a person will wait several hours or days to respond with, sorry. So they're just curving. They're responding, but very slowly. And it's kind of showing disinterest in their lack of response.
So then they can say they didn't ghost the person.
No, they're curving.
That sounded like more of a...
It kind of seems worse.
Yeah.
Like, if you're not going to just tell someone you're not interested and you're just going to curve them instead, like, that's just like...
I mean, everyone does that because it's like one or two word responses. Okay,
Yeah.
sure.
But if you're not interested, just say you're not interested, right?
But people don't like to do that because it. Then they have to answer. Well, why? What did I do? Well, it's nothing you did.
Yeah. I'm just not that into you. It's a whole movie. Okay. Benching. When one continues to casually date a partner without committing, essentially keeping them and the potential relationship as an option. So they're keeping them on the bench.
That's called dating.
It is. But it's kind of like you could see something with this person, but you're like, I want to see what else is out there. So I'm going to continue to date. But that's just like, you're right. That's just dating.
It's just dating.
Yeah. Okay. Cushioning. When someone maintains or seeks other potential relationships to keep their options open while simultaneously in a committed relationship. That's kind of fucked up. Like they're committed to someone.
I was about to say that's dating until it said committed relationship.
Yeah. So it's like looking for something else while you're in something committed just to see what else is out there.
Cushioning?
Cushioning. Don't cushion, guys. That's rude. Just break up with it. Or I guess they don't want to break up, but I guess, like, what do you do in that situation? You're not that into the person you're with then, right?
No, you could be into them. They just sometimes it's people that are not sure what they want.
Yeah, but if you're in a committed relationship and you're seeking something else, does that mean that you're just not into being committed anymore? And maybe you should have a conversation? But that never goes well. Like it's hard. Like once you're in a committed, you can't back out and become casual. You just break up, right?
Yeah, that's kind of. I think that's just people just don't know what they want.
All right, cuffing. See, there's a whole song about this. The act of entering into a more serious relationship, usually lasting through the colder months of November through March. Cuffing season. Yeah, just because you're lonely during the holidays, you want someone to snuggle up with when it's cold.
But I also think it's depressing. So for me, like after the separation and then the divorce, going through the holidays, it was kind of depressing. I mean, you're a little down because you're so used to like having someone there.
Yeah.
And, I don't know. Yeah, the cuffing. Yeah, the whole winter thing. Everyone's. So I guess that's the opposite for me.
Yeah, you do the opposite.
Yeah.
What's the opposite of cuffing? Sunning? I don't know.
I don't know what the cuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what it stands for either. If someone knows, let us know. But I feel like, I mean, I don't know. I'm not good at being alone, period. But like, I did that. I jumped into something around the holidays because it was just nice to have someone around the holidays. I did not intend for it to jump in as seriously as it did. That wasn't me. That was him.
You were newly separated, so.
Somewhat, yeah. It had been several months, but yeah. Yeah. The whole being alone during the holidays has been a new thing for me this year. So far, like 2024 holidays have sucked. Like, Easter was weird. It was kind of just not anything. That's the only holiday, like family holiday we've had so far. So, I don't know. Tomorrow, not tomorrow.
I was thinking like Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Christmas. But...
Thanksgiving was tough because I usually hosted a huge Thanksgiving. I love to host. I love to cook. I love to do a whole thing. And I just had my dad and my son. And it was really weird. It was nice. It was quiet. It was a lot less chaotic than what I'm used to, but I like the chaos. So, it's something to get used to. We'll see.
Yeah, it's weird going somewhere else for Thanksgiving. My parents used to host it all the time, and I was so used to it. Now they're a lot older, so my aunt and uncle do it now, they do a good job. It's just like a lot smaller and just a lot. I don't know. It's different. I'm so used to like having everyone. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't get leftovers, so it really stinks.
Aw. I'll bring you leftovers this year.
I would always fight with my dad because he would take the extra turkey, and the whole family wanted him to make turkey tetrazzini, which I despise. I didn't understand.
What's that?
It's like turkey with like a cream sauce and noodles, and it's like kind of like a carbonara almost like. And I was like, no, save the turkey. Like, you're wasting it. So we get an argument. So I'd have a little turkey set aside for myself, and the rest and whole family would come over for turkey tetrazzini, which I was like, and I don't dislike many foods, but I don't know. It's just something weird. I think it was just because I felt like you're just disrespecting the leftovers. You
just want some turkey. All right. Where am I? Pocketing. Verbal or nonverbal refusal to introduce a partner to family and friends or share photos on social media. Pocketing. So that sounds like you're not ready to be in a relationship. Why do people do that? Like, I know why I've done it, because I haven't shared much about my relationship publicly because I was still married and because we hadn't yet had that discussion about, like,
I'm not much of a like. I I like social media, but I'm not a big like posting and putting stuff out there. Like Instagram, I have stuff. It's only based like kid stuff, like stuff the kids are doing, or maybe if I find like a funny picture, or I'll do something, I'll put it on Instagram. I don't touch Facebook anymore. I
yeah.
look at Facebook, but I haven't posted. I think in like 6 7 years.
What do you think about the, like, refusal to introduce a partner to friends and family? What is that about? I guess, like, I've been cautious about that, especially with my kids, because they're not ready yet and they've verbalized that to me. So that's why I haven't done that. But, like, when it comes to friends, like, it just hasn't, there hasn't been an opportunity yet, but I wouldn't say no to that.
Yeah, I've introduced my kids to one person, and I kind of regret that.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing came of it. My kids thought that she was nice, but it was just kind of like now I'm very I don't know I'm particular in what I want to do with that. I don't think to the kids to my kids right now, they're 11 years old, so I think they're just kind of and they understand, that mom and dad aren't together anymore, and I think they understand that. So I think it's not like a big deal to them, but I think it's also kind of for some people it might mark a new like kind of point in the relationship
That's
because
true.
once you introduce the kids and then it becomes real and some people are like oh shit, but
Is that where you're at?
huh.
The realness?
No, I just think it's an important part, but it's
Yeah.
like you don't want. I guess I have that fear because I introduced to them someone and I probably shouldn't have,
Yeah.
but she kind of so I'm kind of like hesitant with that, but it's not a like if they meet someone and then like a couple months later we break up and the kids weren't like oh devastated, they're just I would I don't know, it's I think it's different for each relationship.
Yeah.
I think it's also how the divorce went and how the ex feels.
Mm-hmm.
For my divorce it went very smooth. We got divorced pretty quickly. We didn't fight about anything. We have a very civil relationship right now, so it's not a big deal. And I'll talk to her about, if I'm dating someone and stuff, and she's, I mean, it's fine. Other relationships I can see where it can get kind of tricky.
That's one we all know. A situationship. A romantic or sexual relationship that remains undefined.
Yeah, that's dating.
Taylor Swift wrote an entire album about a
But
situationship.
that's dating. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, you hopefully
Is it
like
though? Like, it doesn't have to be. Like, an undefined, like, what is this? Like, people stay in that for, like, a year sometimes, which is, like, it's always unfair to at least one person who's, like, wanting a definition or wanting to know if they're more than just, like, friends with benefits or if they're just hooking up. Or it seems like in some situations, a guy or a girl will just, like, not want to commit and not want to define anything just because they're having fun. But, like, they'll just kind of string that person along until that person can't deal with it anymore.
but then it's also that person needs to communicate better.
Yeah.
They need to communicate.
Yeah.
If you don't like what you're like, what are we? And the guy's like, I don't know. And then they stop, and you got to be like, well, no, what is I don't know?
Right.
And then go from there.
And discuss why. Like, why do you not want to define this if there's a reason, or if it's just because he just wants to fuck around and, like, not be committed to a single person, then you just need to be clear about that. Because some people are cool with that. They're like, sure, whatever. Some people aren't. So, all right. Love bombing. And I put that this is often misused because it is. Love bombing is the unhealthy and potentially abusive behavior of showering excessive flattery and or gifts for the purpose of manipulation. So it's like, I think people use love bombing like someone like expressing a lot of love and a lot of affection very early on as love bombing, and I think
But where did it get into gift giving?
that's just a form of it.
Okay.
Like when someone just like showers you with affection and love and just dumps on you. And sometimes it's genuine and sometimes someone's really feeling something or there's infatuation and they're
I
just
thought
like
love bombing was just saying I love you when you don't mean it
no.
because you're gonna
I mean,
manipulate them to like.
yes. That's true as well. But love bombing is really just like using love and affection as a way to manipulate someone. A lot of times people like, I feel like 8 Day did that to me, but I don't know that he did it with the intent of, well, I guess he did. I don't know that he did it with the intent of manipulating me, but he did break up with me right after we hooked up, so maybe he did. Because we hook up and he's like, I'm good. This is too much.
Do you think it would have been different if you were divorced?
No.
No?
No. I think I fell for it harder because of where I was at and because it was my first relationship outside of my marriage. Well, my second relationship outside of my marriage. It was my first one with someone I didn't know. But yeah, I think I fell for I was new, so I didn't know. I didn't know what to look for. I didn't know the red flags. I didn't know this is not normal for someone to fall this fast, this like quickly, to be like 3 days in, I want you to be my girlfriend. Like, I didn't know that was weird. I was like, okay, this is how it goes. Sure. So I didn't know. I just really liked the attention. I love attention. So you want to shower me?
I got in trouble because I told her I loved sleeping with her, and she thought that's
Which one was this?
That was my very first one when I was separated.
Okay.
And she took that as like I was in love with her. I'm
oh.
Like, no, I just love sleeping with you because probably
I love sleep. You said I love sleeping with you?
Yeah. I was not used to having sex on a regular basis. It was really weird. And so, yeah.
Like, listen, I need to talk to you. I really love sleeping with you.
Then she kind of separated from me, so I thought it was over. And then later she calls back, and it's like, I'm falling for you. I was like, wait, what? What? So, yeah, that was my first, like, oh boy, this is going to be fun.
Yeah, everyone just falls for Max.
No, they just fall for, you know, I don't know. One told me, she's like, I wanted to make sure what you said, like, if you were really that person that you come off as, and she's like, yeah, you are.
Yeah, I mean, that's true.
I mean, there was like a comedian, I mean, like, if you have a job, like, and you have a place to live, and you're, like, somewhat normal, you're a fucking catch.
I'm not even exaggerating. That is the truest statement. I dated probably 3 guys that didn't have their own place. They all had jobs, because that's like, if you don't have a job, then I'm not interested. But like, like 3 of them didn't have their own place. One had lived with and I don't, not to knock any situation, because I live with my dad, so like, I'm one to talk, but like, one guy had lived with his parents for years after his divorce. Like, it had been years and years, and he was still living with his parents. So, but everyone's situation is different. It just makes it hard to date and be like, physical with someone when you're like, quiet, my parents are home. So,
shh, I gotta sneak you out.
Right. But I'm in the same situation, but I'm also not like, I'm fine with where I'm at. Like, I don't know. I'm paying for a house that I don't live in. So once I'm not doing that, then I can potentially look at my own place, but I don't know. I'm cool with my situation now. So, okay.
You're cool with your situationship?
What? Okay. Anyway, zombieing. When someone ghosts you first, this has happened to me so many times. I didn't know it had a term. Zombieing. When someone ghosts you first, then decides to come back into your life like nothing ever happened. This has happened to me like 5 times. I only dated for like 2 months before I met my boyfriend. And this has happened to me 5 times.
But this is what happens. So a guy gets rid of you, and he's fine with it, and then something pops up with you, or something reminds you of him, and then he goes and tries to get you back, because guys, what they can't, they want what they can't have. It happens. I think it's vice versa. I think it works for men and women. But I mean, there's so many times one of the girl, like, I was dating someone like right when COVID was starting, and then during COVID we kind of broke it off, and then she actually left like a dish, like a dish or something she cooked for me, and she left a dish, and it was sitting there like for 6 months, and then like 6 months later I saw the dish. I was like, ooh, and I reached out to her again, and because I kind of wanted to kind of start stuff again.
How did that turn out?
That was one of the times I felt bad for myself. I kind of ended things, and I don't think she was happy about it.
Did she ever get her dish back, or do you still have it?
No, I gave her a dish back.
Okay.
The dog just...
Yeah, I know. It just hit me too. I.
With those Bostons, they're gassy.
That's why I said you should name her Flower like the skunk from Bambi. Oh, whoa! It just really hit me. How does that come out of such a little dog? Wow. That's. Whew. Okay. Hang on.
That's why I lost concentration.
I know. I need to like reset. Okay. Alright. Like, wait, I smell good. I need to smell myself for a second.
She's looking. It's like, oh.
She's like, shit, they're talking about me. Alright, the last one is, and this happens to everyone. I don't know. I feel like this has happened to me a lot too. Breadcrumbing. Act of providing a partner with just enough affection to maintain their attention while never progressing the relationship. You breadcrumb them. You're like, here's a little bit of something. That happened to me with the guy that I wasn't that into, that was like kind of boring. I actually forgot all about him until we started this podcast and I talked to Susie, because me and Susie both had talked to him. But I was like losing interest. I wasn't that into him, and every now and then he would drop something cute. And I'd be like, okay, we'll see where this goes. And I'd be like, I think I'm going to be done with this guy. And then he'd say something cute again. And I'm like, okay, we'll keep this going. So it's breadcrumbing. It's like...
You just do enough to get their attention.
Just enough. It's like in Office Space. Like, I do just enough not to get fired. So, yeah. That's the... How many? 9 relationship slang terms. How many of those did you know?
A few. I mean, I knew them. I just didn't know the names for them. But I mean, I don't know. I think that's why dating's so fucked up now, because we have these terms for stuff that's just ridiculous. It's like
they're just naming things that have existed.
Right.
So I'm watching Sex and the City again from the beginning for the first time. I haven't actually watched a lot of these episodes since they were originally on, like in the 90s. So I'm watching it again with like, you know, I'm calling it research for this podcast. But like so many of the same situations and same issues were happening then, and they're still happening now, but they're just like called different things because time has moved on. But like a lot of the things that she's going through in that very first season, I'm like, fuck, like this is so relatable. I couldn't relate to it then because I was a teenager. But like now I'm like, wait.
I just remember the guy's name, Mr. Big.
Mr. Big. He starts in episode 1. I did not realize he's from the start. And there are some big cameos of people who weren't famous yet, who are famous now. Like, what's his face? From the lawyer show that I was super into. Suits. Harvey.
Oh.
He's in an episode. I'm like, wait a minute, it's Harvey. And then there's, I'm so bad at names.
They killed Mr. Big off in the new one.
They did. He died.
On a Peloton.
And Peloton didn't know that they were going to do that. They thought they were just going to use them and, like, sell some Pelotons. And their sales, like, dropped after that. Because everyone's like, you're going to die using your Peloton.
That's how stupid people are. I'm sorry. It's
yeah.
Like, oh, a guy died on a boat. You can't get on a boat anymore.
Nope. Sell all the boats. All right. So we have Bree coming up next. It's a great conversation with her. We loved having her. And I hope you enjoy. Welcome to the podcast, Bree. Bree is one of my favorite people on the planet. My roomie. We shared a room like one time, and she's forever my roomie.
Absolutely. And Brienne, but for some reason we just always call each other roomies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hi guys.
How are you?
I am
Thank
good.
You for coming.
Well, I have some stories.
Yeah. So Bree and I have known each other for, I don't know, how long? Like, because we knew each other before you accidentally created a group on Snapchat.
2016.
When did you join CSAT?
I think 2016.
Okay, so yeah, 2016.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It's like 8 years.
That time flies.
It was 8 years.
Holy smokes. That's crazy.
Yeah. Your life has been so much better.
Absolutely. I had a flat Christina. Actually, I still have flat Christina.
I'm curious what kind of sick places. Do you still have her?
I do. I packed her when I moved here from Canada.
That's amazing. Couldn't leave me
She's like,
behind.
oh, I can't get rid of Flat Christina.
No.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, she looks like she's been to like Stagecoach and Coachella a few times, but she's still kicking.
She's been through some things.
Just like
I
you
love
would
it.
have.
Same. Yeah. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so for those who don't know you, tell us a little bit about you. Who are you?
Woo, that's a loaded question. Who am I? I'm Bree, and I
Crazy.
married now, but
Mm-hmm.
it took a lot of frogs to get to this prince. So, I moved here from Canada to Detroit, and that's it, really. But yeah, there was, like I said, a lot of frogs to get to where I am now. So, hang in
So
there,
you've
ladies
been with
and
Rob since I
gentlemen.
met you.
Yes. So I met
Yeah.
Rob. Funny enough, I met him at a tailgate for the Detroit Tigers. And he was married at the time. I saw this guy and I was like, hello. And then I saw his wedding ring and was like, wah, wah. So every year we just, their tailgate was in a certain spot. So they're like, well, just come on over, you know, they're friends, whatever. So we always did because it was right across the street from the park. And one year he didn't have a ring anymore. And I was like,
We got to.
and
Hello
yeah,
there.
he hasn't been able to shake me since.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so it's
Who'd
all
want
good. It
to?
worked out. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Once
he had
you.
to, it's kind of the same situation. Like he was still married when I met him, but they were
Mm-hmm.
separated after like the, few years. And waiting for the divorce and everything. That was fun.
And now
And
you're married.
Yeah.
actually I went and changed my last name today.
You did?
I
I'm
finally
doing that
did.
too soon, but the other way.
Yeah. So yeah, finally got the ball rolling. But yeah, we met and 6 years we dated. And then he finally popped the question and
Mm-hmm.
we married during COVID.
You had the best virtual flower girl ever.
Yes, I did. Christina killed it. So since we got married during COVID, it was hard because the border was closed. So we were married and still couldn't see each other. And, I ended up flying here a couple times, met up in Florida, things like that. And yeah, today actually is the 9-year anniversary of our first date.
Is it really?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's so
We
cute.
we went to a Mexican restaurant in Canada. So we just had tacos tonight.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do they still have the restaurant? I don't know if it's I think it's called Soshimoko's. It was a famous Detroit Mexican restaurant right almost at the border on the Detroit side.
Yeah, I think it is in Mexican town there.
I believe so, yeah. We used to go there when I was a kid. I just remember it was like right by the bridge.
Yeah, they actually still do Canadian money at par. So that's
I just remember it was
insane.
like some of the best food I've ever had and as a kid.
Yes. That's funny because that's a memory I have as a child as well. Like, oh my gosh, we're going over to Mexican town. Like, whoa. Not what I expected, but the food was amazing. I expected like mariachi bands walking around, and that didn't. But the restaurants were great.
Yeah. No, I want to try it. I
Yeah,
love Detroit.
well, when you guys visit.
No, why I love Detroit? It's because I get some brie.
I'm always here for you.
That's my favorite part.
I mean, hey, Michigan got a lot brighter once I arrived.
Yeah, we slept together the first day we met.
We did.
So
And
yeah,
with Jolene too.
with Jolene in the middle. Yeah,
There you go.
hot Jolene.
We became close pretty fast.
Yeah, yeah, just like okay,
Yeah.
roomies for life now.
That's it. That's it. So,
We slept together and it didn't ruin a relationship.
It didn't. She didn't dump me 8 days later.
nope.
No,
Nope,
she
I
can't shake
stayed.
me.
I hung right on, and I was like, never letting go.
Never ever.
I like the girl from the wedding. Is it Wedding Crashers. You can't
I find
leave me,
you.
I will find you.
You will too. Especially with me and Shannon, because we're FBI. So
I was gonna say I just have to recruit Shannon to help me with my investigative skills.
yeah,
So they say all women are like detectives. They'll figure stuff out.
stick
When
me
we
and
want
Shannon
to,
together.
They'll
yeah,
look on
there's like,
Instagram and then they'll cross. Yep. I'm like,
oh yeah,
We can find out so much. I don't think you knew that.
I don't know
I have a
where these
past. I just
skills
can't
come
talk about
from,
it.
but you know, it's like back to like, oh my god, he didn't have a ring on, but in that picture he's wearing a ring, and then he was, you know, I can't
Yes.
find out.
No, we will find
Yeah,
out. We are
yeah.
FBI.
Or you know, all of the ones when you're somewhere and they're hitting on you, and then all of a sudden you're like, wait, you're wearing a ring. Oh
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's just you're like, yeah.
No, there's a guy who's still like he slides into my DMs all the time, and he's just like flirting, trying to offer me free stuff, and he is married, like
That's terrible.
completely married, and I'm like, why are you talking to me?
Yeah, right.
And
I
I've said
I don't
multiple
understand that.
times I have a boyfriend, and that he just keeps.
Because
He just don't
you're
lie.
giving them attention and they like it. Because once they're married for such a long time, it's just
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't
Watch out.
understand that though. Like, I think maybe a little different getting married like in my 40s
Yeah.
opposed to like a lot younger. It was a lot of knowing of what I didn't want, you know,
Mm-hmm.
like many crash and burns. So you kind of develop like an unwritten list, I guess, if you
Yes.
will, that like, okay, don't want that again, don't need this, don't want someone talking like the red flags that are there. You slowly begin to notice them a lot easier than when I was younger. So
That's
that
very
helped for sure. But he still made me wait 6 years.
the older they get, the bigger the flagpole, right?
what?
Absolutely.
The flagpole for the red flags. Not.
I'm
I got
like,
it.
wait, what?
You can
Oh
take that
my
any
God.
way you want.
Yeah.
As you please.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I've been, you know, set up on a lot of blind dates, been online dating, I've done all of the things, and just all it did was lead to many stories. So, if you guys want to hear
Please,
some of
please
those,
share. I haven't heard any of these, I think, right? Have I?
I don't know if you have.
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Have you told me any stories?
Ooh, I got some good ones. Well,
It's time now.
I used to work at the post office in
Mhm.
Canada, and a coworker comes up to me and says, "Oh, you know, do you know so and so who was like a different section of Canada Post, but wasn't at our plant every day? He was like a driver." So I was like, "No, I don't. I don't know him." Like, "Oh, well, he's seen you. He really thinks you're cute. Blah 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 blah." Now this is a girl that like I thought I was pretty good friends with, who like knew me. So I trusted her, and I was like, okay, yeah, okay. First red flag.
Oh no.
The guy messages me the night before with this poem, and I wish I should have printed it out so I had it, but it went something like, roses are red, something is blue. Look at you looking at your phone, you crayon eating motherfucker, and like I was like, wait, what? Like there was like the R tard and all of these things. You should look
Oh.
it up on your phone because you can Google this stupid poem. And he sends it to me, and I was like, wait, what?
What?
It's like, I thought you were like trying to like schmooze me right now. Isn't that this part?
Right.
I guess not. And so right there, I had feelings of I should not be going on this. And because I am me, and I just thought, well, you know, maybe he's just got a weird sense of humor, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, okay, see you tomorrow. I didn't respond to this weird poem at all. And so the next day he messaged me and said, okay, I'll be there it was an afternoon date. We were going goofy golfing because I had
What's
to work
goofy
at night.
golfing?
Mini putt?
Okay.
What do you guys call it?
Like
Mini
mini
golf.
Putt,
No.
mini golf.
Yeah.
Oh, us Canadians call it goofy.
I was on trees.
And so, yeah, he comes to my place to pick me up. I open the door and I'm like, he's standing there like he's drunk and like kind of swinging. He's like, hey, nice to meet you. And I was like, are you drunk? And he's just a little bit. And I was like, oh, right then and there, I should have slammed the door. But again, I'm like, don't be judgmental. You know, like you're going to be single forever, Bree. You got to go and do things out of your comfort zone. No. Don't always listen to that inner person in there. So I was like, okay, well, I'll drive since you're drunk.
Clearly, yeah.
And so I drive there. And while we're golfing, you know how like you get backed up when the people in front of you are taking a while. So we had a team of girls in front of us. They were taking forever, which made for like a lot of conversation time with this dude. Oh my gosh. It was, first of all, like talking to a rock. Secondly, all he kept doing was like, do you think I could smoke here? Do you think I could smoke here? And I was like, no, we're on a freaking goofy golf course. Like, no. And he finally says to me, oh, so didn't you love that poem I sent you? I was like, no, I didn't. I was like, I didn't understand it and why you would send it to me. Because it's funny, huh? Crayon eating motherfucker. I was like, no, that's not funny. Like, I'm not your broski. I'm a girl who's supposedly liked. So he's like, I go, and I found it very offensive. Like, you know, someone in my family has some handicaps, which they don't, but he didn't know that. And that was kind of my point. Like, you don't even know me. And you're like, whatever. And so I was like, no. So at the end of the date, he got the hole-in-one and the very last thing, so he gets something. So we had to go and sit. So we're sitting on this patio. He lights up his smoke, orders himself a beer. Right behind him, I remember the no smoking sign. And he's like, so, when are you going to let me take you on a real date instead of this afternoon bullshit? And I was like, okay, so this is it. Since I completely ignored my intuition and went on this date, I need you to finish that beer so I can drive you back to your truck and get this day over with. We are not doing another date. This was awful. I can't wait to, like, it was about a 20-minute drive back to my place.
Oh, no.
Awkward. Like, if I was him, I would have just been like, you know what, I'll just stay here. I'll Uber back to your place to get my car.
Right.
But
the
yeah,
fact that afternoon he got drunk is bad.
He showed up drunk in the afternoon.
In the afternoon, like I think he was.
I know
picking
people that
up
night
at
dates
noon.
they'll show up a little because they're nervous, but like yeah, afternoon.
I mean, absolutely, I get that, but he was like, I opened the door and he was kind of like, and I was just like, I've never met this guy before. I've never even seen him before.
No.
The only thing he had going for him was he was cute, but
He was a poet.
He was. What a loser. It's like, alrighty then.
So his first impression when he's meeting you for the first time or like just introducing himself to you is to send you an offensive poem and then show up like shit-faced.
Yeah, pretty much.
I can't believe you didn't marry that one.
I know. I mean, somehow I still let him slip away.
Oh,
he ended up getting arrested at work and fired. So kind of dodged that bullet.
Yeah.
It's a good thing he did. He showed his true colors on date one.
You probably sent someone else a poem.
Probably.
His boss.
Oh my gosh, it was so stupid. It like, look at you looking at your phone, you crayon eating mofo, and not every R-tard can read, but look at you go, buddy. And like, it was the weirdest thing. I was like, what?
And he had never talked to you before and he sent you that?
Mm-hmm. That was the only, like, he had talked to me to like set up a date. And then, so we had this date, and then the day before, I got that weird message, and I was
I'm
like,
so sad that didn't work out.
yeah, I know. You guys would have just loved him.
Hmm. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not sure whatever happened to that fool.
I do love Rob, though.
Rob is great. He
He
is
is.
exactly who I was waiting for.
Yeah.
Just, you know,
He's a
but when I
huckleberry.
finally, and it's funny because I've heard 1,000,000,001 times, it'll happen when you least expect it, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. I was like, whatever. I don't want to hear this anymore. I'm sick of hearing that. I got to take things in my own hands. Now, as soon as I stopped looking and just actively started kind of like working on myself, Rob appeared. Well, I'd already known, but he appeared all of a sudden single.
Yeah. See?
At a Tiger's tailgate, so you know.
That's it. People are always like, how'd you meet him? Like, I'm telling you, girls, go to sporting events, go to tailgates. There's like, I mean, 1,000 men to every one woman. You're just like, okay. I mean, untapped resource.
See? You know how to do it.
And there's not a lot of women in the stadium, so there's never a women's line for the bathroom.
That's true.
Yeah. Do you want to hear about the internet date that showed up to my apartment with his dessert and wine?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that sounds good.
All right. So this was one of my, I think it was on Match. That's a site, right? Match.
It is.
Okay.
I met a
So
guy there.
Anyway, so, okay, yeah. I had, this guy reached out to me again because I had really gone through a time where I was just really picky and like, no, I'm not going to like him. Blah, blah, blah. And I think my mom had said, you know, you need to start giving people a chance. And it's not everything, you know, kind of like don't judge a book by its cover sort of thing. Yeah, right. I should have listened to
Judge
myself and
away.
kept on judging. So this man came, it's about a 45-minute drive from where he lived. So we had arranged to have him come to my apartment. I had a friend of mine who owned a sushi place, so he was coming to teach us how to roll sushi. And then my neighbor was there. Yeah. I was like, I thought that was a great date. And so like I had gotten all the fish and everything for this. And so I was like, okay, well, why don't you just pick up dessert? There's going to be 4 of us and maybe some wine. And he's like, okay. So I lived on the top floor of an apartment building that was a walk up. So when I buzzed him in, I went out to like watch as he walks up to like, because there was 2 sides so he knew where I was. I was like, hey, up here on this side. All I see is like this. And now it was like straight up the weirdest thing I'd ever seen in my life. The little hair he did have in the back, kind of like went like this with it. And
describe it for those who are just listening.
oh yeah, right. Sorry. It was like a used car salesman hairdo. So like the hair just along the back rim. How do you explain that? You know,
Like a comb over.
Except forward,
yeah.
right?
So like it was like he had long hair, but only like a row of extensions of it, kind of that he combed forward. So I'm a short person, so I never would have even seen his hair if it wasn't for that view I got. And I was like, oh my gosh, like that does not look like his pictures. Ooh, crap. So first there's that, and then realizing that his pictures were, I don't know, 20 years old, a little out of date. And so he looked nothing like his profile, which was fine. I was like, okay, you know, like we've got this here, my friend's here. I felt fine. So he goes, okay, I brought some wine, and I didn't see dessert with him. So I said, oh, did you pick up dessert? And he's like, oh, yeah. Out of his coat, he pulls a cookie about that big. And it was saran wrap, like, you know, the kind you'd find at like a gas station. And he insisted he baked it that day. I'm like,
oh, just one.
Just just one cookie for 4 people. Okay. And then rather
Maybe
than
he's splitting
buying
with
wine,
Kate.
he brought his homemade wine with his Elvis label, which I love Elvis. So I was like, oh, that's funny.
But homemade wine?
The wine was terrible.
Yeah. I
And
would still drink.
we ended up, doing the sushi, whatever. I was very nice. I didn't, I didn't, I wasn't mean or anything. I just kind of had to say, like, listen, I don't feel any chemistry here. I don't think this is gonna, I want to pursue this. And I'm sorry about that. And he was like, fine. You know what? I drove all the way here. Like, and my friends, the sushi guy and my other friend, I could hear them talking about him in the other room, which was pretty comical too. They're like, she's never going to like him. And I was like, we are 20 feet away from each other. Like, what are you doing? So he had already heard all that. And then I had to kind of break the news, like, no, I'm not feeling this like at all. And he got mad at me and was like, fine, I'm taking my wine. I was like, well,
oh no.
don't forget your cookie. And that was
Probably
the
ate
last
it on
time
the
I
way
saw
home.
him. Yeah. I mean, this thing was rock solid too. I'm pretty sure he had been in whatever gas station he picked it up for quite a few years. So,
You missed out.
Ooh, he is a big spender, that one. Dude, you could get like a $12 bottle of wine. He took his bottle and he took his cookie and he was gone.
Like,
so
I'm taking my ball. I'm going home.
I just remembered a funny one. A friend set me up on a date when I lived in British Columbia. I completely forgot about this. So my friend Canna, she's like, oh yeah, my manager, he's really cute. I want to set him up with someone, a nice guy, blah, blah, blah. Gives me the spiel. I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll go on a date. So I meet up with him. And this is in British Columbia. He worked at, I think it was a Hilton. So inside that, there was like a bar, Cinnamon Bear. And so we're meeting up at the Cinnamon Bear. He comes in, nice guy, it's cute. And me being me, all I did was say, so Canna says you're a duty manager. I was like, how's managing that duty going for you? And I start laughing. He abruptly goes, this is not going to work out. Really mature. Stands up and leaves. That was not. I was like, oh, did he just leave? I'm like, girl, are you working? Your manager just left me because I called him a duty manager. I asked how managing the duty was. Come on. Like, you're not going to hear that.
That's amazing. If he doesn't think that's funny, then come on.
Yeah, he has no sense of
You
humor.
are obviously not my person.
No, because you've got the jokes. So
I thought it was just too funny to not say. Like that elephant in the room, kind of, like you manage the duty. He's like, really mature.
no, that's not your guy.
He's probably heard that so many times. He's probably
Yeah, probably.
That's
like,
it.
oh no.
But like, dang. Oh my.
Yeah, he sounds fun.
Yeah, right. I had a bunch of funny dates when I lived out west, just because like it's a mountain town and a lot of younger people, and I was at the time, and a lot of drinking happening. Like, yeah, I went on one date with a guy I met myself, and I ended up back at his place that night because I'm classy like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I threw up in the morning. Like, woke up kind of really disoriented, didn't know where I was, and threw up. And then I laid there, and all of a sudden I hear, and I was like, I look over, and his freaking big husky is there eating my puke. And
oh my God.
I mean, how he let me slip away, I'll never know.
So there wasn't a second date.
No. I actually avoided him at all costs because I was like, so, like, can I clean it up? And he's like, just go. Just go.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. I just left like a pile for you and your dog on the floor. I mean, I'm classy like that, you know?
That's great.
That's awesome.
Terrible. Yeah. Can't win them all, right?
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure I would have had similar situations had I dated when I was younger
Yeah.
and not been married since I was like 12. But
Yeah.
yeah.
For sure you would have. Like I said, a lot of frogs to get to this prince, so
Yeah.
it took me a long
That guy
time.
probably tells that story all the time, though.
That's one of his dating stories. He's on next week.
Probably.
He's our next
He's
guest.
like on a date, and the girl goes to have a second glass of wine. He's like, no, no, no. I want to see no throwing up. Yeah, it was pretty funny because he like worked with me. I volunteered on the mountain to get a free ski pass, and he was like pretty high up on the mountain. So I like anytime I saw him, I was like, whoa, whoa, I'm out. Like I avoided him because I was just so humiliated.
That's
That's
amazing.
crazy.
You know it happens.
I'm so proud to be your friend.
How do you get out of the date? Just throw up.
Yeah.
Sir, I mean, you don't like him? Your stomach will let you know. That is just awful. And I really did feel bad about that. But I was more humiliated than anything, I think.
That's a good
So.
story. You busy?
My Target order's ready.
Oh, okay.
Woo-wee. I love me some Target. Yeah, so I'm trying to think, like, what else have I done? What haven't I done?
What haven't you? So let's do like a run through of like the story of Bree, like the jobs that you've had and the
God.
places you've been, because you've done some things.
Yeah, so it's weird talking about yourself. I started working for Club Med and worked in Mexico, Dominican Republic, and Bahamas. So I've done that. I was working with children, like 2 and 3-year-olds, in the Petite Club. Basically, great job. They paid me to be in paradise and babysit and have nap time and snack time. And
Damn.
I mean,
it was pretty sweet. I was like, all right, okay. So I did that for a little while, and then I moved home because I thought it was time to get a big girl job and grow up. So I worked in a hospital as essentially a transporter for patients within the hospital. And then I quit that really good job to move to British Columbia to make $10 less, where my bills were like 80% higher. I was like, ooh, this was really dumb, but somehow I made it work. And I got my favorite job I think I've ever had in my whole life. It was doing room service at the Westin. The stuff I saw. Oh my God.
Okay,
So-
now you got to tell us some of that.
Okay, here's one that like I will never forget. So I was on the midnight shift, and I get a call from a guy in a room, and he's like, yeah, do you have any condoms and lube? And I was like, whoa, yo, guy, this is the Westin, this ain't CVS. Like, no, we don't. And he goes, okay, he hangs up. 2 minutes later, he rings back. He's, do you have any olive oil? And I was like, oh, yeah, we have all these. Like, can you bring some of that up to me? I'm like, sure. He goes, and if you wouldn't mind getting some saran wrap.
Oh, no.
Well, he's thinking outside that he's thinking, how can I, yeah.
I was like, well, this is one lucky lady. I was like, yeah, sure. So I bring it up, and you had to like kind of, if the last name on the thing. So like whatever, if it's Smith, I was like, this girl opens up the door, and you can tell she's shit-faced and they've had a night. And I was like, oh, good evening, Mrs. Smith. And I hear from the back, you can call her Mrs. Longhorn, because that's where I picked her dirty ass up at. That was a bar.
Oh my God.
I was like, oh, girl, just run. Run now. Door's open.
Come with me.
This-
Come with me.
This man
Come
is
with me.
calling you a dirty lady that he just picked up, and you're about to get pounded with saran wrap and
And
olive
olive
oil.
oil.
Like, what are you doing? So that was a pretty funny one where I was just like, what? I had another one when it was, I think, my second day doing room service. And so the guy that was training me, he's like, hey, you got to go every time you see a tray outside of a room, we got to go and pick them up. So he's like, there's one down there. I'll go get this one. You go get that one. I'm like, okay. So I come back and I got my tray and I'm like, and he goes, what the hell? He's like, Bree, didn't you notice there's a butt plug on there? I was like, what? I had never seen a butt plug. I had no idea. I saw this thing and hand to God, this is what I thought it was. Remember like when people have like train sets and they have like trees? Because there was like a stand and then it was
What's
like,
going
wow.
on at the West End? Jeez.
I know. I was like, dang.
Oh my god.
So that was pretty funny. I was like, oh,
The West End / sex hotel.
butt plug and the room service tray. Like, I'm so
Where did the thing
confused.
go?
Like, oh, wow. Cool. Hope you guys had fun.
He was having a sandwich and he put the plug down and he forgot about it.
I guess. I mean, that's where I would keep my stuff, really close to my food. Yeah. Yeah. So that was an awesome job. I loved
I want to go
it.
stay in the West End.
Yeah, right? Especially like in a mountain town. People are crazy. We had someone come in who the front desk was like, oh my God, Uma Thurman just checked in. And I was like, oh, no way. Oh, cool. I can't wait to see her around. Like, not that I really give a crap about her, but she was a celebrity. And so all of a sudden, we get told from the Fire Rock Lounge, which is like the bar inside the West End. And the girl's like, Uma Thurman was just in here and assaulted a lady. And I was like, what? I'm like, I'm calling TMZ.
Mm-hmm.
And it's on the whole story. They're going to find out from me. And so I'm like, okay. I call TMZ and they're like, hey, do you have any pictures of her? That would be great. I'm like, I'll get them. I'll get
You
the
really
pictures.
call TMZ?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Bree, I love you so much.
I know. I was like, I can't even believe you can just call them. And the guy that answered way back in the day was the guy with black hair, black spiky hair. I don't remember his name now. But he goes, you know, from TV, the guy with the spiky hair, yeah, that's me. And I was like, you sound familiar. I was like, okay, yeah, I'll get you the pictures and I'll send it back. And he's like, is there a lot of celebrities up there? Like, should we have photographers placed up there? And I was like, I mean, during festivals and stuff, yeah, for sure. But this is really one of the only ones, like, that we had heard of who like kind of checked in on their own and was in public. The rest of the people would like get the suites and the tub and just stay there or go right from there, escorted to the mountain because the West End was right on the mountain. So I go to get pictures of Uma Thurman and it was, I couldn't. So my friend Christy, I was like, okay, you go over there. She had blonde hair. Like Uma's. It's like, you go over there and I'll just take a picture with the sunlight. So it'd be like, oh, it's a bad picture, but that's her. They did not go for it. And it turned out it was not Uma Thurman. She actually has a lookalike who just walks around pretending to be her.
Oh my God.
Because somebody had like investigated it. Because
And she got in a fight?
Well, what happened was, they were both in the lounge, and then I guess it hit 8 o'clock, and after 8 o'clock, kids can't be in there. She supposedly was with her son. This couple beside them had their kid, and there was some sort of argument between the two of them. So they both had to leave, and then they both end up on the same elevator, and I guess they had a bigger argument on the elevator, and I don't
fight. It's an elevator fight.
Yeah. So nobody really, I don't know if security probably had access to that stuff, but I obviously didn't. I just bring food to rooms. So I remember going to her room. I was like, I'm going to go bring her a complimentary cheese plate. Yeah. And so I get up there and the door's open and the maid's there and she's like, she's just checked out. And I was like, man. So then I went down and they're like, yeah, that really wasn't her. They did some research. Yeah, I didn't call it back like, oh, wasn't her. So they probably still think that Uma got into a fight and was like,
Oh. I hope they do
But
an old
yeah,
story.
that was a fun place to live because it was a mountain town. You had everybody coming there.
Where was it exactly?
In Whistler, British Columbia. So it's about
Oh,
2
okay.
hours north of Vancouver.
I say yeah, like I know what you're talking about. I just recognize it from your stories. So,
Yeah.
because I've heard of the butt
It's
plug one before, but she just described it so much better this time.
Yeah, I mean, I'll never forget. I totally thought it was a train like set tree. I just didn't have a clue. I mean, talk about being under a rock. I was like, what? What?
That's
What if they?
amazing.
My buddy Chad's like, Bree, like this is the part that you hang on. That's bar. I was like,
Mm.
gross, gross.
Rose.
So maybe he couldn't get the ketchup out of the bottle. I don't know. So yeah,
Oh
but it was
no.
fun. They have like a lot of festivals that go on there, like ski
Yeah.
and snowboard fest and stuff like that. So there's usually when that happens, there's bands that play and a lot of
Oh, that's
celebrities will come
cool.
into town during that. So yeah, that
Let's go to Whistler
was
and stay at
fun.
the West End.
Yeah,
Leave some
it's
weird
good.
stuff on the tray. Be like,
Yeah, you get the inside baseball
surgery.
from any of the workers. So yeah, it was a good time. I lived out
Awesome.
there. I did that, and then my mom took sick, so I moved back home. She's good now, so nobody worry. And when I moved back home, I started working at the casino as a cashier. These people, it is called gambling. Maybe you win, maybe you lose. I mean, isn't that the definition of gambling? So,
Right?
like I said, I was a cashier. People would come up to me and like cry to me, like I have pulled, like, I'm so sorry you just lost your kid's scholar or your kid's college money. Let me just go and talk to the boss. I'm sure he'll give it back.
Right. They'll
Are you
understand.
serious, man? I'm sitting here counting all this money and none of it's mine. I have no pull. I'm the gum on the shoe in this place. Like, why are you crying to me? So that was a really sad place to work. I didn't like it.
Yeah,
No
sounds like it.
windows and it was just sad. It was
Yeah.
awful. Yeah. And then I started working at Canada Post, delivering the mail, which was awesome. I fell off a porch my very first day.
I've fallen off a porch before too, but not delivering mail.
I had a little old lady like go, oh my God, and try to help me.
Mm.
I'm
Yeah,
on someone's Ring doorbell falling off their porch.
That's awesome. I wish I had footage of my fall because it would
No,
have
I'm
been
not
really
asking
great.
her about it because I don't want her to find it because it's probably hilarious, but I don't. No one needs to see this.
I would totally want to. I'd be posting it. Look what I did.
I know. I'm friends with her on Facebook. I thought she might, and she didn't. So she either didn't see it, or she just respects me enough to not post it.
She has it saved and watches it every day.
Right? It's probably
Yeah,
really
right.
funny.
She's like, when she's down, she's like, I think I'll watch Christina fall off the porch.
I
Yeah.
forgot I was on a porch. Like I was walking backwards, and I just thought there would be ground behind me, and there wasn't. Just ate
That
it.
is, yeah,
Like
pretty
I said, I'm
unfortunate.
very graceful.
Well, I had like a bag of mail to like cushion my fall, so wasn't too bad. And I landed right in her bushes, so I was just like stuck in them. Yeah, it was pretty funny. Yeah,
That's awesome.
but yeah, that's me in a
Yeah.
nutshell.
Well, thank you, and thank you for joining us and coming on here and spending time with us tonight. And
Yeah, those are some amazing stories.
I knew she would have some good ones.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Well, I hope it helps.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm sure as soon as we hang up, I'm gonna be like, I should have
Oh,
told
we can
about,
do a part two. If you think of a
Yes.
bunch more, we'll do a part two.
I will actually take notes and write them down so I don't forget.
Okay.
The stuff I've seen.
Oh,
Yes.
girl.
Call this episode "Comb Over Cookie and Wine."
Oh, there you got. You named an episode. Look at that. Look at him
Uh-huh.
healthy.
Home overs. Oh, and homemade wine, baby.
That's how people are like. Sometimes I'd work with people and they'd hand roll their own cigarettes. And it's kind of the same thing. Like when people make like homemade cigarettes or homemade wine, I tend to like stay
Oh.
away.
I thought you were gonna
Yeah.
talk about the homemade condom. That's around.
Yeah, right. Well,
It's pretty
I
creative
actually,
though. I
Out
mean,
west, I
that's
dated
outside.
someone.
That's some creative thinking.
I mean, it
Yeah.
was funny that like literally 2 minutes later. So like me and the guys in the kitchen, I was like, you think he was just like, wait a second. I know what will work. So I was like, oh, aren't you a lucky little gal?
Oh,
Yeah.
well, I wish
Yeah.
you nothing but luck.
Right? Yes. So I will take notes. And you guys, thanks so much for having me. That
Of
was
Oh, no
fun.
problem.
course.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll do it
Love you
again.
guys. I can't wait to
Love
see you.
you.
We are back from our interview with Bree, Miss Breezy.
That's some great content.
She's got stories. She's got more than that too. So Bree's a good time. Good time every time.
See, she met her man at a Tiger's tailgate. You can't.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what and she's right. Like that's a great idea. If you're a single woman and you're looking to find a guy, and you're tired of apps and you're tired of all the bullshit, go to a tailgate.
Everyone goes. They like feel like Home Depot and stuff.
Yeah, but do you actually like people are shopping, you're actually gonna go up to someone and meet someone at Home Depot? If you're at a tailgate, you're at a social event. You're gonna chat with
What
people.
if you wore a hat that said "I'm single"?
That's is he okay? I haven't seen him in a bit. Maybe he's not single anymore.
I used to hear like when I was single, grocery store Sunday evening was big. Um, I always heard church, but that was just I don't.
I don't know. That sounds like a good idea though. Go to a tailgate. It's a social event. Everyone's talking to everyone. Like, and you're all on the same page about whatever team
Yeah.
you're supporting, so you know that you're already into the same thing when it comes to that. If you're not into sports, I don't know what you just got to pretend. I don't know. Okay. So we have some advice being asked. So it says, I've been talking to this guy for a few weeks and he's consistent with communication, but he literally won't ask me on a date. He will ask me my plans, but never initiate anything. I've never had a man act so interested, but uninterested at the same time. Why bother talking to me every day? What's the here, guy? What's the deal?
Well, there's a few things. So maybe he's not sure. Maybe he doesn't. Sometimes the guys can't read the signs as well. So maybe he feels like he doesn't get the sign that she wants to go out again. But if she drops it, but this is a perfect example of he's not sure what he wants, and maybe he just likes having, the pen pal situation, going back and forth and talking. That's something new to him. He likes communicating with her, but she may, she shouldn't have to drop hints. She'd just be like, we should, hey, we should go out next weekend. What are you doing?
Oh,
Sometimes
I knew you were going to say that.
sometimes the guys, like, we just don't see the signs and we just have to be like pushed into it. And so maybe she just needs to say, and she can't be like, well, he's the guy, he needs to ask me out. Like, no, go for it. Like, push him. Be like, hey, we should hang out next weekend or something, and go from there. And then,
She can make it cute. Be like, are you ever going to ask me out?
or just be like, we should hang out next weekend. Why
Yeah.
don't you pick a place? And then, kind of push it into, I don't know. I mean, if he sees this, if she keeps dropping hints and he doesn't see it, maybe he doesn't want to take her out. Maybe he just enjoys having a conversation. Maybe he's having conversation.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's one of those things that you don't know the situation, but I feel that he might not be interested, but
Thing is, if he's not interested, like, why put so much effort in?
I don't know, but that's what some people do.
I like that advice though. Just ask him out. Be like, let's meet up. Do it yourself. Like a girl wants a guy to like chase her and be like, I want to go out with you and ask
Just
him out.
be blunt
But
and up front with him. Be
yeah.
like, do you want to take me out?
some guys just don't get it, right? Some guys
Right.
just don't understand that you're into them. You have to be like, listen, I like you. Let's go on a date.
It's okay, because it's like we play these. We stick back to these roles, these gender roles, where and some women like it, where like the guys got to initiate and ask her out, but sometimes the guys sometimes we just don't see the signs, or sometimes we're not sure. Like it's a whole thing. Like when you go on a first date, do you go in for the first kiss? If you feel like it's working, it's like okay, I could sense it. But if you sense like, oh no, this is not working, it's like, oh, it's the if you just do the hug goodbye, it's like nah. So
I did the hug goodbye on a date. I'm like, nice to see
Well,
you. Tap,
you,
tap,
you
tap.
can feel, you can, you just, I don't know. I can feel if like the person's into you or not.
How do you feel about asking for a kiss? And so I get it in some cases because sometimes it's a consent thing. Like you just want to be clear. But like, what do you think about asking to kiss someone?
So I do it like if I do it, I'm not gonna ask them. I'm gonna tell them I'm gonna kiss them. Like I'm gonna kiss you now.
Oh, you're gonna tell them? Like,
Yeah,
listen.
I'm kissing you now. And most of them were like fine with fine. Or when I go in, like first sometimes I just go in without asking.
Mm-hmm.
One time I was like I'm gonna kiss you now, and she's like I don't kiss on first dates. I was like what?
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't the girl that came over here.
No.
Nope. Yeah, that was unexpected. She came to your house on a first date.
Right.
That's
I was shocked by it too.
brave.
I was like, okay. But I'm to that point. I would rather have a first date at somewhere comfortable, like at someone's house and stuff. I know nowadays people are scared and stuff, but like
I would not have done that.
you can tell like straight off if like the person's, I don't know.
Yeah. No, that's one of my like hard rules. Also because like I typically don't want to hook up on the first date because I just want to see because I've been burned. So I'm like, I don't, I'm going to see where it goes after that. And I like to be like, chase a little bit. So if you're at a house, there's a higher chance of that happening. If you're at a restaurant and...
Yeah, exactly. That's why I come to the house. Let's get it over with.
Let's get it over with.
Let's do it. Some guys will think like, hey, I don't need a second date now.
Yeah, that's why I don't do that. Let's get it over with. Like it's a chore.
No, but the ultimate, like, most guys, like, they want to, like, their goal is, like, they want to sleep with the person.
Yeah. Do any guys just want to get to know someone?
They do. I just think it depends on the whole situation. It depends where they're at. Like, if you just get out of a relationship, they're not going to want to. They're
Yeah.
going to say it. They're going to say the right things, but they're not going to want to. But some guys are kind of looking for a little bit of, like, hey, I'll get to know her. We'll sleep together. It'll be good, and then maybe we'll, form a relationship after that. I don't know. It's like I said, everyone's different. Every relationship's different. Every situation is different. But and the funny thing is, like, the perception, like, oh, all guys are dogs, but women are dogs too. I don't know what the term would be, but like both men and women play the same game. It's just the perception where if a woman sleeps around a lot, she's a whore, right? But if a guy sleeps around a lot, everyone respects him in a weird...
Why is that?
I don't know.
Do you think that's still the case, like, as, like, being sex positive is more and more popular?
I love the people that are like, oh, what's your body count? Like,
I hate that term, too, body count.
I've never, like, I
That's
don't
such a
think
gross...
about it, like, off the top of my head. I have to, like...
You don't know?
No.
You don't know your body count?
No, I've never thought of it. Like, I've never thought of, like, oh, well, no. I just, it's something I don't look at,
Mine's not very high, so I can count mine pretty easily, but,
My body count has increased in my 40s way before.
I mean, same, but, like, I was only single for 2 months before I met my current boyfriend, so there would be room for judgment if it was really high in 2 months.
But I mean, you can't judge someone in the past. I mean,
No.
Now if she's like 250, you'd be like, whoa.
Right? Yeah, what would you say if I was like, my body count is 175 people in 2 months? You don't have time to... You would have to take those 2 months off and not work at all. It's not that. That's not my body count. I'm not going to share my body count, but it's not even close. But I know mine. You don't know yours?
I don't know mine. I'd have to think.
Wow.
I would just throw a number out there and just be like, eh.
Do you have an estimate? You don't have to say it, but like if you had to think about it.
I don't even know where I would start because...
Wow.
Not that it's high, I just don't know, like, I would have to go all the way back to, like...
Yeah, I guess that's what happens when, like, you don't get married when you're a child, like me.
But I wasn't sexually active before I got married. I would date here and there. Like, I don't know, I was, like, I think I had more... I don't know if I don't think I wanted to deal with it, and so I would just, like, I had a job, and I was just, I would go out every now and then. I was anti-commitment. Like, I would, like, after 3 months, it would get boring, so, I I just,
3 months. That's the killer. That's a thing. Like 3 months is like a make or break point because a lot of people like get bored at that point, or they start seeing the person's like true colors, and they're like, oh, I don't actually like this person.
But it's also a lot different. Like you're in your 20s,
Yeah.
so you're dating to build, and a lot of people then want to eventually get married. And so now dating in your 40s is a lot different because everyone's been married
Yeah.
and divorced. So some people haven't been married, and so now you're not really looking to get married. You're just looking to maybe meet someone and see where it goes. Some people still want to get married again. And that's
I would get married again. Like now that I'm divorced, I was thinking about like I would. Like
I don't know.
I didn't know how I would feel after that, but I absolutely would.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
It's just a lot. I don't know.
It is. But like I don't know. I just think it's
like if I get married again, what if this doesn't work out? Then it's just like, oh,
Yeah. I just know the next time I go into it, I'm going into it with a prenup. And that has nothing to do with the fact that I don't know if it's going to work out or not. It's just that you have a prenup whether you get, like, have one or not. The state creates one for you, basically. So I'm going to go in with my own to be protected. And that's not a romantic thing at all. But going through a divorce, I now know, like, how easily you can get fucked over by someone that you never thought. Not that... Just to put this out there for anyone who knows me, not that I got fucked over. I didn't. But, like, you could if, you don't have a prenup. So, especially now, because I went into my last marriage as a kid, so I didn't have anything. Now going into as an adult, I have my own situation, my own finances, my own stuff that I've built on my own that I don't necessarily want to, like, just hand to someone and be like, here, if this doesn't work out, you get half of this.
That's part of the reason why I think, like, I don't know if I want to get married again, just going through all that bullshit. It's like if you find someone and you eventually say, hey, maybe we can live together, and you live together, and like, to me, that might be enough.
Yeah, that's true.
But I see it both ways. I don't know.
I just think it's I don't know. I think it's like a beautiful thing, and I'd love to do it again, potentially. I don't know. Not saying that I want to do that now. I'm just saying, like, in the future, it's not something I'm closed off to because I loved being married. I mean, maybe I was married to the wrong... Maybe I was married to the wrong person. But, like, I liked being someone's wife. And I liked having that, like, that family and that, like... Which you can... I guess you can have if you're not married, too. But, like, I don't know. I just liked it. I'd do it again.
I think everyone varies. I think... I'd be interested to see, because if you've already been married, a lot of people don't want to get married again.
Mm-hmm.
But I've also, my first therapist I saw, that me and my ex-wife saw when we were going through the process, she actually remarried someone she divorced, which was interesting.
That's not going to happen.
But I'm just like, all right.
Yeah. No, I can see that happening. I've heard of that happening before, where like people realize later on they were better together.
See, they can't have,
you want what you can't have.
It happens. I think it's human nature.
Yeah.
Like, if anything, regardless, like, if you broke up with someone and then you see them posting pictures of having someone else in their life, and then you're going to be like, oh, and that's where, people, like, slide into the DMs and stuff. I mean, sometimes you'd be like, oh, man. But then it's like, it was meant to be. It was either meant to be, people that, people have broken up with me and vice versa. Like, I don't feel any need to reach out to them at all. Because I don't do that. That's why I tell people, like, once we're done, like, you won't hear back from me. And I'm serious about that. And sometimes I'll hear from other people, but it's nothing like... I mean, there's a couple ones I've dated a couple times, but they always reach out like, hey, how you doing? Everything good? They're like, yeah. But we don't even talk about each other or, like, dating.
Why does that happen so often to me?
I don't know.
It's because I'm the fucking best. They know it. I have stickers. We should start merch. We could have Christina is the best merch. Do you think who would buy that?
I'm sure a few people would buy that.
Yeah. I do have stickers. If you're local or not, and you would like a sticker.
Loco or local?
Local.
Oh, okay.
Rude.
Should we start doing hats, no dick pics?
I have some designs. I have some like NDP if you don't want to have the word dick on your head. So, I don't know.
Something the guy never wants to hear.
Oh, see, you don't need wine to be funny.
Yeah. I don't need a dick on my head.
No. I mean, you don't want a dick on your head, do you?
No, I'm not.
No. But would you wear an NDP hat? As the co-host of this podcast, I would hope
Probably
so.
wear maybe a hat, maybe a sweatshirt.
What if it said no dick pics? Would you wear that?
Yeah, depending where I am. I mean, I probably want to be wearing it in front of my kids.
Yeah. See, that's why you got to do the NDP. Love the name. Thanks again, Lynn. But
How about no dick pics like beer koozies?
ooh, should we start a store? Let's do merch. I don't know how to do that.
I don't want to open a store.
Not like a real store,
Too many bar rescue episodes. I've seen.
no,
I'm just like,
not like a real store, like a online store for merch. I don't know how to do that. Merch. We need some like funny like quotes and stuff to put on.
Yeah, from the previous
Yeah.
episodes.
Yeah, honestly, my favorite quote, and it's because I did the clip show last week, so like I went through so much stuff, is, have you ever sent anyone your whole vulva? That is like my I want to put that on a t-shirt. The froyo. It's yogurt land. You raggedy bitch.
I think after Bree's interview, there's some good.
There is the not comb over, like comb forward. That poor guy, she never would have noticed had she not looked over that balcony, and he could have had a chance.
A cookie and some wine.
A cookie. One cookie, one hard-ass cookie for 4 people. And he baked it himself. That's great.
I think he got baked himself.
Got baked, yeah. Yeah, sounds about right. All right, is that all we got?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's wrap it up.
We'll wrap it up. So next week, do you know this? We have Tia again next week.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Tia's coming back to co-host alongside with us. She's going to interview us. Because she kind of already did that. But we're going to have a special episode next week with Tia. And did you know, I told you about this. Did you forget? The look of confusion.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So we have Tia again next week. So we had a great episode with Bree this week, and then Tia returns next week for a fun episode. So join us next week, and be sure to rate, review, subscribe. We still need to work on getting on Apple. We need to figure that out. But in the meantime, follow us on Spotify, and we have our Instagram is NoDPicsPod on Instagram, and everywhere else it's NoDickPicsPod. And if you have questions or you want to join us for a conversation, you can email us at nodickpicspod@gmail.com. You got anything else to add?
No.
No. Man, chatty.
I'm a man of few words.
This is the biggest lie I've ever heard. All right, we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.